All right, guys, welcome back for a new video today. And as you can see on the screen, the pizza app is back again. And today is part 2 of this video, of this series, how you want to call it. I mean, the video did amazing. You guys enjoyed it very much. So I figured, let's create the second part where we're going to do some Flutter web and link Flutter web to Firebase and create all of that admin KPI backend stuff. So, it's going to be super interesting. We're going to do some stuff that we've never done on the channel before. So I hope you are excited because I am. It's going to be amazing. Before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe. Like I've seen the stats, like 70% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. I mean, I put a lot of work into those videos, and it really means a lot when I see more people joining our community. So don't forget to subscribe. And with that said, if you didn't see part 1 of this video, I really recommend you go ahead and go check that out first, because I'm going to be basing myself on that first video to move on, So if you didn't see that one, I highly recommend you go first, check that out, create that one, and then you come back to this video and you create the second part. So as you can see on the screen, I already have the app running. So that's the stuff that we've done last time. So just before we start diving into what today is all about, let's recap a little bit what we had last time. So we had that. I can log out from here. We've created the authentication system. So sign in, sign up. All right. So you could create an account or directly log into your account. If here I say test@gmail.com, test 1 2 3 4, and I sign myself in, I will be able to sign myself in. And the sign-in process is, the entire thing is handled by Firebase. So as you can see here, we have our project that's already available. So we have a few services, so authentication. So as you can see, one of you guys tried to log into my thing with the GitHub. So create your own. Now I've put the Firebase configuration in the Git ignore, but like create your own Firebase project. And yeah, so we have a few collection right there. So we have so that's that person. I'm gonna go ahead and delete the document. All right, so we have the pizza collection and we have the users collection, right? So every time that you log yourself in, you'd have you request this document, or if you create an account, a new document will be created right here. And then we have the pizza collection, where we have a few things: the description, the discount, if the pizza it's veggie, the different macros for the pizza, the name, the picture that we store in Firebase storage, the pizza ID, the price, and as well the level of spiciness. And so last time, in order for us to be able to display stuff right here, which is displayed using BLoC, and those stuff are directly the documents from Firebase, right? In order for us to display some stuff there, we had to create the documents manually on Firebase, right? On Firestore. But that's not sustainable, right? So what you would have normally is some sort of Flutter web backend admin type of stuff where you're able to see, some KPIs. I thought about a few of them, like last order, the top 5 best sellers, the total orders, and the the overall money that you've made. So that's some KPIs that we can add. And as well, on this admin, you'd be able to create a new pizza. So adding the picture and all of the fields that we have right there directly from the web. So we don't have to create that manually on our database, right? So that's the goal for today. And last thing on the storage here, that's the last service that we use for Firebase. And we simply store pictures of our pizzas, right? So we have more pictures than what we have documents, because since we created those documents by hand, I didn't feel like creating all of them. But today we're going to create those things dynamically. So that's going to be amazing. So so now you know Firebase, all right? So that's you remember that, okay? And that's the Flutter app, the pizza app itself, right? And I have running right here a new Flutter project that I've called Pizza App Admin, all right? and I've enabled the web for it, all right? And on the left side, that's the website itself, okay? So today we're gonna create that part, right? And I think if we have time, we are as well going to add some stuff to our app, like the add to cart, and checkout stuff, not with Stripe, like we're not gonna pay for it now. Perhaps I can make a last video onto Stripe because that's a big chunk, but we can simulate a payment, right? And for us to be able to display those things onto the Flutter admin. So for now, we're gonna leave that as it is, but that's why I told you at the beginning, you should definitely check out the first part if you didn't see that first part, because we're gonna reuse a lot of stuff. And I'm thinking about, like, all of this, the packages, the pizza repository and the user repository. For the pizza repository, for example, we already have all of the classes that we need. So we are not gonna recreate those classes from scratch in our Flutter app, pizza app admin right here. We're just gonna copy paste those things, right? So first things first, what's the plan for today's video? So first we're gonna do here on the Flutter app, on the pizza app admin, sorry, the sign in, okay? So we're gonna protect our dashboard with a sign in. Then we're gonna be and for this whole redirection stuff, you're gonna see it's a little bit different than a mobile app. So we're gonna use a package that's called GoRouter, and it's an amazing package, you'd see. I'm gonna show you a little bit how it works. Then, so we will do the authentication. Then we will redirect the user when it's when the user is logging to a home page, right? Where we're gonna create some KPIs I told you about: last order, top 5 best sellers, total of orders, and money. So for now, those things are not gonna be dynamic, okay? It's just gonna be the UI, and we are as well gonna create a form in order for us to create a new pizza entry, right? To create a new pizza document, okay? And perhaps log out as well. And that's going to be the first things that we'll do, okay? That's the stuff that we'll do right now. And then if we have time, we will create the checkout stuff on the mobile app, okay? So that's how it's going to go today. um, I don't know if the display is ideal. You don't have the full width of what a website could look like, but we're just going to go with that right now, and you can uh, customize a little bit how the website responds in more responsive view. It's for me in order to be able to see everything on the screen for you guys, okay? So first things first, we are gonna need to on Firebase here, if we click on project overview, we're gonna need to add a new app. And I've seen that they added Flutter now for in Firebase, so that's pretty cool. But here we're gonna enable web, so it's gonna be pizza admin, oh, pizza admin. And we are also going to set up Firebase hosting. We're not going to do that right now, but I will show you how you can do that. It's super easy, and I found it to be just amazing for hosting websites. I mean, you have everything in one place. That's why I love Firebase so much. For now, I can copy the fields here, and I'm going to show you how we're going to use them. I'm going to continue to console, and that's pretty much all there is to it right now. Okay, I can navigate to the project settings, and I will see if I scroll a little bit down. Here I have all of my different apps. So we have our Android app, Apple app. So that's for this one, right? And we have the pizza admin that we just created. Okay. Nice. So let's navigate back to the code. I'm going to put it right here. All right. So few things that we'll need to create first, okay? If I'm right now in the main.dart file, okay? And as you can imagine, I don't need all of this. We're going to create our custom stuff, okay? So a few things. I want to first import GoRouter as a package, right? So I'm going to do just that. And I'm also going to import URL strategy. and you'd see why. So you navigate to your prospect.yaml file, and under dependencies, you're gonna paste GoRouter and URL strategy. URL strategy is only to remove the hashtag in your URL. So you don't see it right there. Perhaps they took that away, but once you deploy, your base URL is slash hashtag, and you don't want a hashtag. So this package just remove that thing. And so what we want to do now is within our main.dart file is call, a few things. So first things first, we're going to do set path URL strategy. So that's for removing the hashtag. So I need to import the package. I also need to import GoRouter. Okay. So that's just for, whether the API browser URL bar, all of those configuration stuff. Next thing, so that's for ensuring right initialization. Then I'm going to import that. Make my main function asynchronous. So you can see here I have some errors. That's very normal. Now you are a bit familiar with Firebase.initialized app because we've used that in the previous video, and as well with the simple BLoC observer. So for the simple BLoC observer, it's simply a file that we'll use for development in the console to see where our BLoC, what's the state of our BLoC, right? So I'm just going to paste that file right here. But you can see there are some errors because we need to import the BLoC package, right? So that's what I'm going to do right now. Right. So up inside the prospect.yaml file, I'm gonna import Flutter BLoC, and equatable. I'm gonna save that. And now normally, everything works. So you can see here in the simple BLoC observer, it's simply for having a log within our console, right? Every time that on create, on event, on change, on transition, on error, and on close are called, it's for us to know if everything that we're doing is right, okay? That's all there is to it. Very simple file. Now within our main.dart file, we can import BLoC actually, and we can import simple BLoC observer, and we can import BLoC as well. Okay. Now the last thing that we need to deal with here in terms of imports is for Firebase, right? So we need to import Firebase core. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So here, um, Firebase, and I'm just importing Firebase core, and you can find those packages on pub.dev, right? I don't know if you're familiar with the website. Normally by now you should be, but pub.dev here, and you can search for different packages that we'll use throughout the app. So that's where I get the packages and where everybody get the packages. So Firebase core is imported. So now we can go back to our main.dart and import Firebase core. And you would see here that there is this default Firebase option, let's say class that we didn't import, right? And that's because I want to show you another way to initialize your app, because you could straight up initialize your web project within web index.html and add a script in order to instantiate your Firebase project. But I don't want to do that. What I want to do is create within the lib folder, okay, a file that's called firebase underscore options.dart, okay? And this file is going to take care of that for us, right? So the class is called default Firebase options, right? And it's going to get the current platform. And if is web, then it's going to return this very specific configuration, right? And otherwise, if it's Android, we could have all of our setup directly here, right? So we can, if we have several Firebase projects for development or for production, right? They will be all handled here, okay? So that's that. And now you'd say, well, what's web prod, right? Well, that's the thing that we're going to create right now under that. So we're going to say static constant Firebase options. web prod is equal to Firebase options, right? And so now they ask you for a bunch of different stuff. See the API key, the API ID, and all of those little stuff. What you want to do here is actually navigate to your Firebase project, right? And copy those things from your Firebase project and simply paste them here, all right? So here, those stuff, they're for my Firebase project, okay? You would have your Firebase project and you will use yours, all right? Don't copy that because it's just, it will use mine and you will be kicked out instantly. So that will not work, okay? But now this file is done. So all of those things, this switch statement, you can just put that thing away for now. You know, if you don't want to have it in your code, you can just turn it off, right? But it's important because we're doing this a current platform getter, so we need to cover all of those different possibilities. Well, with that done, I can save that, navigate back to the main.dart file, and import Firebase option.dart and save that file. Okay, so that's pretty much all there is to it for our main.dart. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Now, as you know, the architecture that I love, I will create the different files that we'll need for the project. The test is not happy because we've deleted that, but don't worry about it. So now under the lib folder, I'm going to create a few files. You're familiar to it. You've seen that in the first video. I mean, it's always how I rock. So, you know, it's app.dart. I'm going to create another file, appview.dart. So far, there is nothing that changes from what we've seen within the first part in terms of architecture. Okay. So let's create first our app.dart file. Okay. So here we're going to say stateless widget, and we're going to call that my app. And for now, I can just save that. And within my, oh, sorry, I am in the app view. It's in the app.dart. Within the app.dart, then I can navigate back to the main.dart and import my app, not main app, my app, and save that. And now we have no more problem for the main.dart file. I mean, it's giving us an exception with Firebase because obviously you need to relaunch your project. But normally once that launches again, we will be fine. So let me just for now, sorry, let me just for now comment that thing so we don't have an error on the testing side. Okay, good. So now we have our app.dart file, okay? So now here we're gonna have the repository provider, okay? So here I'm gonna return a repository provider, okay? And here, sorry, I wanna return a repository, a repository provider, and that's going to be, let me check, yep, something like this. Authentication block that we didn't create yet, but you'll see it's the exact same block that we had from the first part, okay? And here we're gonna say create again, yes. No, not create. My authentication block is going to take my user repository, a user repository parameter, okay? And we are gonna say that the child of this is going to be my appview.dart, okay? We can save that for now. It doesn't matter if we have errors because we're gonna create all of those things right after, okay? Now we want to go to the appview.dart, and here we're gonna create a stateless widget again. So my appview, it's going to be called, and here we're going to have our material app, but here is where we're going to introduce the router, right? The router that I've talked to you about. So here it's not going to be simply a material app, but it's going to be a material app dot router, okay? And so what that means, it means that instead of having a home parameter, we're going to have a root parameter, let's say like this. So a few things that I want to implement. So perhaps the title, we can say here, pizza admin. We are going to get as well perhaps the theme, and we can take the same theme that we had on our pizza app. Okay, so I'm just going to go there, app view, and get oh, we didn't create it a theme. Yes, we did. It's here, theme, up, copy that theme, and just paste that theme here as well. And I'm going to make it so you can a bit more see what's going on, like this, and like this. So it's simply an implementation of a few different color, so we don't have to repeat ourselves within the code. All right. So we have a theme, and then what's really important is the router configuration parameter here, and that we're gonna call router, and that's gonna be just like this. And for the router, we are gonna provide the context.read authentication block. All right, so now we can import nothing because we have to create those things. So the authentication block, right? We've created that one previously on the last video. Let me up here. If we navigate to block, you can see that we have our authentication block, right? So that's exactly what I want to do here. And I don't know why I've named that thing source. Yeah, okay, that's okay. So under source, I'm gonna have a new folder that I am going to call blocks. Okay, and I am gonna create a new folder that I'm going to name modules of no roots. Yeah, okay. And another folder that I'm gonna call modules. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good. So now we're gonna first get the authentication block that we had here because it's simply the same, okay? So what I want to do is get those files, and under blocks here, create a new folder, authentication block, and I'm simply gonna paste those files within that, okay? So we have a few errors because he cannot recognize the user repository within these files, right? So before we do anything else, I'm going to get the entire packages folder within our first project, right? Copy that thing, and I'm going to paste it right here, okay? So it can, before running pubget here, as the IDE asks us to do, we need to kind of import those things, right? So remember in the first project, within our prospect.yaml file, we called those two packages like this. So we are going to do the exact same thing right there. And be careful of the indentation because that matters within the prospect.yaml file. Stuff could stop working if you didn't indent the different lines properly. So now you can see on the authentication block, we had our error go away. So that's pretty cool. So we can close that, and that. And now we are going to focus on the roots, okay? The roots, yeah. So what I want to do is actually create a new file within that thing that I'm going to call roots.dart, okay? And so this file is gonna be GoRouter, GoRouter. So it imported GoRouter package, right? I'm gonna call that one router. And it takes an authentication block parameter that I'm just gonna call auth block, all right? And it's going to return a GoRouter, okay? Simply like this. And so the GoRouter has a route parameter, and that's where we're going to implement all of our different routes, right? And before we implement our routes, there is a few things. So we want to create above our router methods the final nav key equal global key, yeah, that of type navigator state. Navigator state, yep. And since we're going to have a shell root as well, so we're gonna have another key that we'll call shell navigation key, and I'm gonna call that one, yeah, I mean it's the same. Up, tag, paste that right there. Okay. Right, so now, before we start implementing our different routes, we need a few things. So here the router key, so navigation key, oh, sorry, it's within navigator key, so it's going to be our key, nav key, right there, all right? The initial location, so the first stuff, the first URL that will redirect the user will be that, all right? And now we're also gonna do some redirection. So we have a redirect parameter here, okay? And that's pretty cool because we can make that thing. So we can say if auth block, so the one that we've put here as a parameter, right? Dot state dot status, okay, is equal to authentication status dot unknown, right? Then I'm going to return my root navigation, okay? Can just save that up and say that if, so else, I want to return, let's say base screen like this, and we're going to give that thing the child, okay? And the child is from, uh, yeah, no, it's not here. Sorry, it's not here. My bad. So you, for the redirect, you're only going to do that, all right? And that'll be all, okay? Now let's implement the different routes, shall we? So we have here in the app view.dart, we can import authentication block, and we can also import routes, okay? Save that. In the app.dart, we can now import authentication block, really, that would work better. And that takes a user repository parameter. So Firebase user repository. That's not how we call that thing. It's called user repository, okay? Firebase user repo, that's how we call that thing, okay? And we can import app view as well. Okay, so now everything is imported the way it should, okay? And I'm telling you, we've done nothing different so far than just copy stuff that we've already had, like the packages that we've copied, all of those stuff we've already have, okay? We've created that in the first part, so no need for me to go over how the authentication block works and all this, because it's in the first video, so we will just lose time here, all right? That's not the point. What's really interesting is the router, okay? That's really what you should really pay attention to right now. So the router takes action, it's actually like a list of root base, right? And you would have a shell root that could be the base of your entire navigation, right? If you wanna, let's say, you know, make sure that the person is logged in, and if the person tried to access another URL, like let's say the home URL, while it's not logged in, you would not want this person to be able to get in, right? So here, this shell root, I mean, it's in the name, right? it protects this from happening, okay? So you will create a shell root. You would say that the navigator key of the shell root is the one that we've created above, all right? And the shell root is taking a root parameter, obviously, but as well a builder. And this builder is quite interesting because here we can say if the state dot full path, okay, is equal to slash login, okay, or that the state dot full path is equal to the base URL, or that yeah, okay, or that we can return child, else we are gonna return base screen that we will create, and we'll give it the child, okay? So a few different stuff right now, okay? So once you are on the website, you often have, you know, a navigation bar at the top or on the side that stays throughout your navigation, right? And that's exactly what our base screen is going to be acting at, right? So we will have this base screen on a very high level within our app, okay? And that thing is going to stay there. And the only thing that's going to change is the stuff. Let's say we're going to have a left bar on the screen, exactly kind of as the VS Code right there, right? We would have our navigation that would be on this left side, okay? And on the right side, we'll have the screens that change over time, right? And so that's what this base screen is for right there, okay? And I think that's it for this builder. So here the root is again an array, and we can save that for now. We will come back to this obviously, huh? Don't worry about it, but we can implement our first root right now. So we can say go root. So the path for that first root is going to be, sorry, the base URL, right? And yeah, we can also add then a builder to that thing. Okay, and here it's interesting because you want to have a builder if you're going to provide the screen, right, with some state stuff, right? And so that's exactly what I want to do right there. So I want to say that it's going to take the context and the state, okay, and that's going to return a BLoC provider, okay. So that on the create side, let me check up. On the create side, we will have a BLoC provider, yes, of authentication block. Authentication block dot value, okay. The value, so we don't have a create here. The value is going to be BLoC provider dot of context. Yes, that's that, but of type authentication block. Sorry. Okay, and the child for this is gonna be splash screen, a screen that we will create as well. Don't worry about it. Okay, so that's the base screen that we'll have. Okay, so we can create now two other screens, two other roots, right? We can create our slash login, okay, and our slash home. Okay, so here we won't have a splash screen, but we will have like welcome screen, something like this, or we can even say login screen. So that's even better. And for the home, we are gonna call that home screen. Okay, and we can save that. All right. One thing to note in those Go routes, right? You can see that a Go route can have a parameter of type root, right? And that would be to nest the navigation within those routes. So if I will have within here, instead of having a login, right, I'd have something that is a bit more like we have on the app, right? Here, I'd have a welcome page, right? Once you click on that, you would nest yourself within that welcome navigation to the login, and here to the sign up will be down that road, right? You can put them under those things directly. So now that we have that, we have a few things to create. So we have the base screen, the splash screen, the login screen, and the home screen, okay? So for doing those things, we're gonna navigate under modules, right? And that's the stuff that I always do. So folder here, so we're gonna say auth. We're gonna say new folder, we're gonna call that splash. Within the module, another that we'll call base, and another folder that we will call home. All right. And within those folders, okay, I will have here a new folder, which is going to be views, a new folder that's going to be blocks, okay, and a new folder that I'm going to call components, okay? So that's how the views are going to, I mean, the folders are going to work for our app. And under views right there, okay, I can create a new file that I can call login screen. All right, and save that. And that's pretty much everything that there is to it here. And here we'll put the blocks that are relevant to the specific module, which is the authentication module. So here we will put the sign-in block, for example. And the reason why I didn't put the authentication block within here is because this block is more of a higher level, right? We're using it in the root, we're using it in the app view, you know, we're using it before that. So I like to have those kind of block higher up in the food chain, okay? So I can simply now go ahead and I can make that a little bit bigger. I mean, changes nothing. So we have our auth here, okay? So I can copy copy that and paste that here under base, under home, and under views. No, yes. So I have it under auth, under base, and under home, and under splash. All right, good. So here we're just gonna need to say that it's not login screen, but it's home screen, okay? And we can create now some stateless widget. So we have something to display, so that's home screen. The splash screen, so here, instead of login screen, splash screen, okay? Can create stateless widget for now, splash screen, save that. So splash, home we've done, base, here, base screen, stateless widget, base screen, save that up. And for the authentication, that's right, we just need to create here login screen, save that. Okay, so now within our root.dart file, we can import base screen, we can import splash screen, login screen, and the home screen, okay? We can add some constant to everything. And the only thing that doesn't work right now is our base screen, okay? And that's the stuff that we will do right now. So I'm gonna save that, and we are gonna collapse everything. And here under lib source, modules, base, view, base screen. So here I have created the base screen.dart, right, as a stateless widget. But here I want to make that thing stateful, okay? And here I'm going to say final widget, because this base screen is going to take a widget as a parameter that we can call child, okay? And I'm going to add that to the constructor of this base screen widget, okay? So now a few things that I want to do just for now in order to clarify everything is, you can see now within our root, we don't have any errors anymore, okay? So that's pretty cool. That's very convenient, okay? So we can save that and I can try to build that app again and see if everything is where it should be. I understand it's a little bit more tricky with the routing and stuff, but it really makes your life easier down the road. And this thing is actually really well thought, so it works really well. So I will be back with you when the app has built, guys. All right, guys, as you can see, the app built. So that's pretty cool. I just had to do a Flutter clean and a Flutter pub get here in the main, but as well within each prospect that YAML file from our pizza repository and our user repository. So don't forget to do that as well in order for it to run smoothly. But as you can see, we have something right there. So that's pretty cool. And you might wonder, well, what kind of screen is that? Well, let me show you what it normally should be, right? So we have our base screen here. So instead of returning straight up a placeholder, we're going to return a scaffold, right? And just for the sake of it, we're just going to have colors dot red, okay? If we save that, it's not our base screen. Okay, that's pretty normal. So what we'll do is copy that from base screen, put that into the login screen here. Instead of having a placeholder, we're just gonna have the scaffold of a background colors of red, okay? As well as on the splash screen right here, return placeholder colors.red. Ah, see something? And on the home screen as well here. Okay, cool. So for you to understand what's going on, all right? So let me try to, okay, we have our root. We have our root that's right here, okay? It's gonna say that then first it's gonna go to the splash screen, all right? Because up the root of our navigation redirect to the splash screen. Okay, so if I modify the splash screen color here to blue, for example, you'll see that the color is changing because that's the place where we are. All right, so now we have to do the splash screen, right? Because what the hell is that? Well, the splash screen is going to be very straightforward. Okay, so what we want to say here, basically we want to say, right, so if you're logged in already, I don't want you to log in again. I want you to go to the, to the home screen, all right? But if you're not, well, I want you to go to the login, right? So that's what we're going to do right here. So here we're going to have a block builder, okay? So a block builder takes a builder, obviously, right? With the context and the state. So the block builder here is going to be of type authentication block, authentication state, all right? And here we will have then, we'll say if state dot status is equal to authentication status dot authenticated, I want you to go to return home screen. Else, if state.status is equal to authentication status dot unauthenticated, I want you to go to the login screen, right? And so here you might want to say, right, so I'm just gonna say that, right? Well, you'll see. Else, I want to return, since it's a splash screen, right? Center child circular progress indicator. So that's while our app is figuring out from an unknown state, from our authentication stages, to either one or the other, okay? Because the app never stays in authentication stages.unknown. All right, so now we are here, okay? So you can see that we have either our home screen or our login screen, okay? tag. Okay. But the problem with that would be what? So we have either our login screen from the splash screen or our home screen. Okay. So the home screen is red. Okay. And the login screen here, we're going to make that yellow. I'm going to save that. So here we are on our login screen. Okay. The thing is, we can close the base screen for now. The thing is here, uh, we are not changing any type of URL, right? Because if we are just redirecting the user with a return like this, well, we're not having any sort of impact, right, within our URLs. And we want to perhaps say that here is /login, right? So perhaps I want to do something like that. I want to do something like context.read. No, sorry, context.go and /login, right? And since we are in the block builder, I want to return the container, so it's the framework is happy, right? And you can see our URL now here /login. Okay, so that's the whole point of doing those things, right? You can either redirect your user straight up without caring about the URLs, okay, and that would be fine. I mean, that's really, you decide, okay? Or you could say, right, I want to play with those, and you do those things, okay? And that's pretty much the same idea, right? Within our home screen right there, right? Because we are redirecting the user to the home screen if the user is authenticated, but perhaps we want to say /home, right? So that's what I want to do here. Say context.go/home and return as well a container. Okay. And here, I don't remember if in our root we've changed. Yes, it's /home. So if we save that, I mean, we don't have any login to be able to see that thing, but up, that's how it should be. Okay. Okay, right. So we have our splash screen that's working. Yeah, I guess we're good to go now. Onto creating the form, okay, for logging in. So I think I'm going to retake the form that we had previously created from the other app, because makes no sense to recreate something from scratch, right? So I'm just going to delete that and that. And here, then on the login screen, I can navigate to what we had, lib screens auth view, and here we had our welcome screen. Remember, we had our welcome screen, but here we just want the sign in. Okay, we just want that thing. So I'm just going to take the sign in screen. Okay, and I'm pretty much going to copy the entire thing. Yeah, copy that, and here into our login screen. Well, a bit different, but we will need a few things. So we will need the sign-in block as well, and the my text field that we've created in the previous video. So the my text field was within the components, right? I had my text field. It's simply a text form field within which we've created some sort of decoration, right? So we are consistent throughout the app, okay? So I'm going to take that, and since this thing we are going to reuse, I could put it right there, straight up within the components of the auth modules, right? But since this specific text field we're going to reuse in other screens, I'd rather within source create a new folder called components for more global components, right? And paste that file right here, my text field, okay? So now within our login screen, that's all working good. The last thing that we need to get for it to work is the sign-in block, okay? And for that, we just navigate here, sign-in block, and I'm just going to copy that entire folder and paste it within here our blocks, okay? And now we have our sign-in block that we've created in the previous video working as well. So I can save that up. Now we have a problem within our roots because, yeah, of course, now it's called sign-in screen. So we just have to change that. Um, and I think we're pretty much good to go. If I save that, normally, yeah, that's the thing. It's because we didn't provided the sign-in screen with the sign-in block. Remember here within our welcome screen.dart, we have block provider of type sign-in block, and that has a sign-in screen. So we're going to take that, okay? Take that thing. And here inside our root.dart, okay, instead of having a child for the slash login that's simply sign-in screen, I want to have the entire block provider of type sign-in screen, of type sign-in block that has a child of type sign-in screen, okay? And I'm going to import sign-in block. And I can save that now, and that's going to show up, all right? Well, that doesn't show up. That's perhaps because of the, yeah, okay, that's because of the UI. Because if we go to sign-in screen, we don't have a scaffold. Yeah, we straight up have a form because the scaffold is within our welcome screen here. Am I right? Indeed. So what I want to do is customize it a little bit. So I'm going to wrap the form with a scaffold, replace the child parameter with the body parameter. I'm going to save that thing and that should work. Yeah, that works. Okay, let me just take care of this indentation errors. I know, guys, you showed me how to format the code. It's just, it doesn't work with my VS Code at the moment the way I want it to work. So I have a few more stuff to do. So if you're wondering what all of those things is, I mean, it's in the first video. So it's really in the first video. So I highly recommend you go check that out. The last thing that we need to import as well is Cupertino icons. Perhaps it's within sign-in screen straight up. Yeah, Cupertino. All right. Gonna import that thing right here, save that. And we will need to import that thing onto our prospect, the YAML file that's on the highest level, Cupertino icons. All right, Cupertino icon. I'm saving that and I am relaunching my app. Let me close that thing. Oh, sorry, close that thing. I'm gonna rebuild it. And let's see how that works. Cupertino, perhaps it was Cupertino icons that I needed to import. Oh, normally that should be okay. Oh, it's duplicated already. Import it once. Okay. So interesting. We have a problem in our build. Let me close that thing and let me run. Let me run it. Okay. Let's see how that thing goes. Let's see, because we had an error when the website built. So I'm really curious to see what's going on. So let's pop the debug console and let's see what's happening. I will be back with you when it builds. Well, we didn't have any problem actually. So I can just move that thing back here and we have it here. All right. So we have our form that's right there. So in our login screen, what I want to do here in the scaffold, it said that the background color is going to be theme.of_context.color_scheme.background. Yes, perhaps we've done some different types of coloring. No, it's just because we had some colors in the background, so the white would pop. Um, Let me check that out because those fields are working right now. Yes, they are. Okay, well, we don't care then. So I'm just going to wrap the form with some padding, like 16 at least. Yeah, so we have a little bit more space. Okay. And so here You know, you could directly log in to the platform, right? But the problem with that is we need some sort of an admin type of user, right? Because otherwise, the people from the app who have an account, they could come into the admin dashboard, and we don't want to do that. Mm? So you have a few options. You can either create in your Firebase Firestore another collection that's called admin user, right? That could work. Or we could add a field to our user document, our user class that say status, right? And it's either gonna be user or admin, right? And we can modify that thing by hand, since you know every time that somebody like you will have only a few admins within your app. Here we only have one, so you know we can do that by hands as well. So I think that's the option that we are going to choose right now. I'm gonna think a little bit about that and be back to you within a second. All right, guys, we are back. Sorry for me, it was a bit of a longer break than expected. I had lunch, but we're back at it. And remember, I left you with the admin here in order to create an account. And while I was having lunch, I was wondering if it was the right idea to change the classes and stuff. And I think we're just gonna create an admin user by hand. I mean, it's pretty much what you'd want to do, since you're not gonna have a lot of them. You can, because you don't want to have a sign up button right here. You know, it's like it makes no sense to have that. So you would want to create your admin user in the backend. So in the Firebase console under authentication, we're gonna add a user, and we're gonna call it like admin at gmail.com, for example, and the password is still gonna be that. You can customize it, but at least it's the same. Okay, so I'm gonna add that user here. All right, and what I want to do as well is create a Firestore document for it. Okay, within our users collection, right? So I have here, I'm gonna take the authentication right there, and I'm gonna take the ID that I have for this new user that we've just created. And I'm creating a new document with the ID that was provided by Firebase Authentication, because remember, that's how it works. And here I am just gonna say, I don't know if it's ID or user ID. So it's user ID name. So user ID is gonna be the ID that we have. Name, we're just going to call it admin for now. That's fine. We have as well email and as active card. So, okay, email. So email, it's admin at gmail.com. Sorry. Oh, wow. String admin at gmail.com. Okay. And then as active card, Boolean false. That's just to stay consistent, because an admin would not need that thing, right? And perhaps here you would want to have another field that would be is admin, right? So we can have like is admin and set it as a Boolean, set that thing to true for this one. And for our normal user, we can create is admin as well and say that it's false. All right, and we can check that, we can add that to our class is admin, you know, in order to validate the fact that the person that's trying to log in is an admin or not, right? But the cool thing with creating the stuff by hand like this is now I can go inside my pizza admin here, and if I say admin at gmail.com test 1 2 3 4 and I sign in, normally that would work. We have some errors with the router. We have some errors. The following assertion was following was dispatching GoRouter delegate set state during the build. So we have a set state during the build that's called. So I have to look at that. I'm just gonna perhaps relaunch that thing, but we have a set state somewhere. So I am going to look where our thing could be. So it's not here. Let me check. Let me check that out. In our base screen, perhaps? No. Let it, we're gonna let it run and we'll see again. Well, it's here. I was about to pause the recording, but it's back here again. So we might as well just stay together. So let's try that again, all right? Let's try that again. Debug console. All right, clear that thing. Admin at gmail.com. Test 1 2 3 4. Sign in. So authentication block. Initial. We don't have the, yeah, admin at gmail.com. False. Okay, good. So we have everything. All right. So normally we should be redirected to the right screen, right? Let me check. Let me check that thing. I'll be back with you in just a second. All right, I know what's happening, and it's simply because we are here inside our block listener, and that's a little bit different than what we used to do straight up in the mobile app, because here we have the sign-in required and the sign-in that goes right. So if sign-in is success, we print that thing to false, but what we want to say here is we want to change the root then of our router, right? So we want to say context.go, and the location, we just want to go to the splash, right? Because remember, the splash is going to define either if we are logged in or not, right? And that's exactly what this thing does. Okay, so that was the only thing that we needed to add, because now if we get our home views home screen, you'd see here it's red. If I change it to green, for example, I save that thing. No, we're not here because we are not inside the home screen, but inside the base screen, which is, for example, yellow. Yeah, that's the base screen that we have right here, right? And the home screen is actually the child, okay? So here, if I were to say that our base screen would be a scaffold that will have a body, how we want to play that thing, we could either have something on the left or just do a top bar. Perhaps we'll just do the top bar. So we will have column, children, and we could say container with the width of media query dot of context dot size dot width in order to take the entire space, and the height of k toolbar height. So we have the size that we want, and we can add a color to it. Color dot, for now, let's just make it so it's red, for example. And if we save that, we have here our base screen, but the rest of it is our scaffold, right? But what we want to say is the rest of it is the child, okay? So we want to say expanded then within our column, right? Expanded, and here we will say that it's a child widget, a child, and we save that, and here our home screen is green, right? So we are pretty much safe. All right, that's pretty cool. So no matter where we are within our navigation, and as you can see, we're at home right now, so that's pretty cool. And that thing is going to stay there no matter where we are. So we're going to add some different buttons, so it's going to redirect us to different screens, but that thing is going to stay there no matter what. So that's pretty cool, and that's something that you would want to see within your website, and not having the bar that reloads itself all the time, right? So that won't be the case, actually. So that's pretty nice. One thing that we could do is within our app view.dart here, show debug mode banner and set that to false to make that thing go away. Okay, cool. And I think we're pretty much ready to start building on that thing, right? So perhaps in the base screen within our container right here, we could add a child, and we could add a row to that child, and the row, remember, takes some children, and we could have first text widget that would say, for example, pizza admin, right? Pizza admin, cool. And we can wrap our row with some padding, and we can say um, symmetric, horizontal for now. We're gonna say like 30. Yeah, okay. Pizza admin. We can add some little, we can have now, we can get rid of that thing and make that one perhaps say that up, we get rid of the yellow because we do not need that. And that would be, for instance, for example, white, okay? And our home screen here, instead of having green, we can say theme.offContext.color scheme dot background. Okay, cool. So we would have that here. We can have some styling to this text, style, text style, um, text style, font weight dot bold, for example. Yeah, okay, that could work. That could work. And something that you might want to do is as well use this as something that would be clickable, right? So you can wrap the text widget within another widget, and you can call Inkwell. And Inkwell here is cool because it's gonna actually show you why invalid in constant value. That's because of that. Because it's gonna actually show the mouth region here. See, it shows on the web that this thing is clickable, right? And we can make that so we always go back to the home screen, right? So we can say context.go and here slash home, okay? So no matter where we are within the app, every time that we will click on the text, it will redirect us to home. Since we are already in that route right now, it doesn't go anywhere. So that's actually smart, right? But otherwise, it will redirect us to that route. So that's pretty cool. We can as well perhaps have make it a little bit more yeah, let's make it font size, let's say like 20. Yeah, okay, cool. And what I want to do now is copy this inkwell and say that we will have another one that's not going to be pizza admin obviously, but it's going to be like create pizza, for example. And you'd see it's not super nice right there. So we can have a size box with 20, for example. I don't know. Save that thing. Pretty cool. And now I don't want that thing to be as big as the other one. So, you know, I don't want it to be bold neither, but I don't want it to be that light neither as well. So font weight dot semi bold, perhaps, yeah. And I want the color to be theme dot off context dot color scheme dot background. I think it's a light gray. I think that would work. Save that. Well, that's too light. So let's just say colors dot gray. Okay, and if we say that, perhaps, yeah, okay. Create pizza. Yeah, okay, that would work. That would work. Perfect. Up. The last thing that we perhaps want to do is here cross-axis alignments dot center. Don't think it's going to change a thing. Yeah, okay, right. So that's cool. Okay, so both things are working. So here we are at home, right? And we will have the little KPIs that we've talked about. Okay, so we can create that now within our home screen. Okay, but otherwise here on the create pizza, we will redirect to a new route that we could call create. Okay, we will save that. But now if we click there, you'd see the URL. I mean, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't know what the slash create route is. So we need to actually navigate to our route.dart and copy the GoRouter, for example, from this one and add a slash create, okay? And here, uh, not that we need to extend authentication block everywhere. Now that I'm looking at it. No, obviously not. Not even in our Not even here, I don't think so. So perhaps I will just get rid of that and see how that behaves. Yeah, that behaves all right. So that's the same thing right here for our, oops, oh my God, come on. Yeah, okay, right there, just like that. But instead of calling home screen like here, we can call create screen. And we're gonna do that right now. So we can collapse auth, base, home, and splash. And under module, remember the architecture that we have all the time. We're just gonna create, I mean, I can just copy home and paste it and call it create pizza. Okay. View here instead of home screen, create pizza, create pizza screen, and rename the widget create pizza screen up, just like that. And now within my root, I can paste create pizza screen and import the right module, save that. And now here on my home page, if I click on create pizza, you'd see that the create is right there. And if I go there and I change the background color, for example, to something that could be something like colors.red, so you can see the difference, right? So our home screen has a background of gray, okay, like we see right there. And our pizza screen has a background of red. So here I'm in the home screen, so the background is gray. If I click here, you see nothing here reloads, but I am within the red background and I have the slash create right there. If I click here, I will navigate to home again, okay? So here we navigate, okay? So I mean, if I go back, you know, the stack is not gone. Perhaps what you want to say here is once you click there, you pop the entire stack, right? That's something that you could do as well. You know, it's like it really depends on your needs. But for now, we can navigate between those two different screens, and that's what really matters there. So perhaps we are going to focus on the home screen for now. And I just want to make a very simple stuff. Uh, it's just going to be a grid, I think, with the last order. Yeah, we're going to split the screen like last order right here. We will split it as well with the top 5 bestseller, perhaps under it. Um, yeah, yeah, let's do something like this. So we would have, so we are within our home screen right there. So under body, we will have a column. I'm thinking as I am doing it, guys, huh? As you know, we are figuring this thing out together as we code along. So a column. Yeah, so a column with the first item of the array, which is going to be a row, right? And within that row, I want two containers. I want two containers, yes. Okay. And then I want under the row a big container. Okay. So here I am going to wrap each of my container with an expanded widget so they have the same size. All right. Oops. Yep, just like that. And now let's customize one. So we would say that the height is perhaps something like 250, and the decoration, so box decoration, we would have a color that is colors dot white for now, and the border radius dot circular like 20. Save that. See how that thing behaves. Yeah, pretty cool. That's kind of the idea. So we can first wrap our entire scaffold, but no, let's wrap our entire column with some padding that we will say dot symmetric. Horizontal, it's going to be something like 40, and vertical something like 20. You can customize it, you know, make it dynamic and everything. Yeah, that works. So I want that same thing here, except I want a sized box between those two things, a sized box of with 20 or something like this. And I'm just going to paste the other one right under it. So yeah, so you see you would have these two KPIs, and then you would have, if I just take that right here, up, that will definitely be enough. Okay, tack, let's take the size box as well. It's not width this time, it's height. See, and you could create, look, it's really an ideas, right? So you can really create all of those different cards depending on your needs, depending on the stuff that you want to show. You know, it's really, you can decide whatever you want to do there, really. Just another thing I want to do before continuing creating this little UI is within our base screen, which is here. I want to add within the row that we've created here. I want to add, I'm going to copy that thing, paste it under it, and here it's not going to be create pizza, but logout. If I save that, you'd see that I have a logout right here. What I want to do actually is pin that thing to the right. So we've seen that already, but you might want to say, I want to align that thing, alignment dot center right. Sorry, center right. And you might believe that this thing will center to that thing, and it's never going to happen. That's not how it works. So you won't be able to do that. All right, but one thing that you are able to do, so I'm undoing everything, is having, here you have a row, right? And I'm going to wrap that row within another row. Okay, and so I'm going to take the logout that I just created and just move it to the other row down. Okay, so if I save it, you tell me, well, you didn't change a thing. Well, so I did, because if now on the main row, the first row, I said that main axis alignment is equal to space between, now the logout is on the right, all right? So that's how you do those kind of things. And so for the logout, for example, you might also want to have, you know, like some sort of a row within as well, this row, and you want to have the text, and then the I don't know, icon, Cupertino icons dot arrow, I don't know what it's called. Let's see if we can find something. Yeah, that arrow left to line, but here I want right, so I suppose that exists as well. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's do a little size box between those two, very subtle. Save that thing. All right, good. And log out, perhaps I just want it to be, yeah, just like this. Okay, and now you see that we have it good, we have it working. Gonna add the constant keyword, and perhaps, you know, you might say, I want to change the color. So here, if you it's not the splash color, so it's not the splash color, hover color perhaps. It's because there is no material under it, I believe. So for now, we're going to forget that thing because it's not the goal. Oh my God. It's not the goal, but definitely you can change that thing. But here, what I want to do is to be able to log out, right? So how am I going to do that? Let me check that out. Well, it's super simple. It's just on the on tab. Um, I am just gonna add up the sign in block for logging out. Sign out required, right? But the thing is, with this thing, you need to refresh the page, right? Because if I just do that, okay, I'm signed out, but nothing happened, right? But if I reload, it's gonna tell me, oh, all right, you're signed out, so now you are into the login. Well, it didn't even work. Don't tell me why it didn't work. It got no idea. Let me check. So if I click here, there is no sign-in block for the base screen. Ah, perhaps that's an error that we've made. Yeah, here, base screen, base screen, we need to actually call the sign-in block, right, for our base screen. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Yeah, so here I'm going to wrap my base screen with a BLoC provider, and the BLoC provider is going to be sign-in block. BLoC provider, up, create, up, sign-in block. User repository, we can take the one from authentication block. Let me put that on the other line so you can see good. And normally now, if I save everything, it's not going to change a thing, but yeah, up, I clicked. So now normally if we print the debug console, yes, something happened. So that's pretty nice. And nothing happened here, right? But if I reload, now the guy is gonna, the code is gonna be like, okay, well, nothing, nobody's connected, right? So what you want to do within your, well, it's gonna be our base screen, right? What we want to do is actually wrap our base screen here with a BLoC listener, right? So I'm going to wrap my scaffold with a BLoC listener. And I don't know why it doesn't. Okay, well, let's create it. BLoC listener. Okay, so listener. Oops, listener. And now I just want to say if the state is sign out success. Sign out success. It's not that. I don't have sign out success. Let me see what I did. It's in authentication block, sign out, sign in block. Yeah, that immediately logs out in the way that we've done that within our app. Perhaps I want to be a little more precise and add an event to it. So we can say sign out success, just add that thing here, sign out success. And within our BLoC, simply say that up. So await logout, and we're just gonna emit sign out success. Save that thing. And in our base screen, sign out, no, not required, sign out success. A cool thing that you can use to reload the page is simply call, let me check that out. It's called, I've lost it. No, it's here. HTML. So HTML dot window, but for it to work, you need to import the package dart.html, like so. You need to import dart.html, and then you can use it, okay, as HTML. So HTML.window dot location, no, location dot reload. And I'm going to show you now. I'm saving all that things, and now you'll see. I'm going to log myself in. Admin at gmail.com, test 1 2 3 4, and I mean, I will show you just after that. So I'm logging myself in. There is perhaps an errors and some error. Oh, no, it's normal because if we take our login screen now, authentication view login screen, no, normally that should work. Don't understand. We have some problems. That's the BLoC listener that's causing a problem. Yep, apparently. Let me check. Um, could not find. Yes, block listener of type sign in block, sign in state. Was that the problem? That was the problem indeed. So now if I log out, that rebuilds everything. And now since nobody's logged in, I'm within the login. And look at that. That's the base URL if you're not logging right. But let's say you want to be a little smart and you want to access directly home. Since we've done our whole protection layer with the root, now it's trying to go into the home and then it's like, right, you're not authenticated. I'm redirecting you to login. And that's pretty cool because then your website is protected from people that want to try those little things, accessing through the URL. So you don't want to be not be doing that, right? So I highly recommend doing a system that works like this. And now you can sign yourself in again. I don't know why this thing is not working on sign in. Um, I don't know why it doesn't redirect us. Perhaps I'm missing a set state or something somewhere. Yeah, perhaps. Anyway, if we reload, that works, but there is a set state that's missing somewhere. All right, let me think about what we will put right there, and I will be back with you in just a second. All right, I was looking a little bit why it was not redirecting us, and it's just because we forgot in the previous app to emit sign-in success here. So I am doing it right now, and normally I log out, that works fine, and it's gonna redirect us to the login screen. And if I log in, let me try admin@gmail.com, test 1 2 3 4, I sign in. Yep, that works. Amazing. Okay, cool. So before focusing on that, which is not the point today, I want to focus on create pizza, right? So that's what we're gonna be doing right now. So let's move back to that. So we have the background color. So the problem is now every time that you're saving the stuff, all right, you will be redirected to the home, right? Because that's the one that that we've said we want to be redirected within our splash screen. Where is it? Splash screen, views, splash screen here. We say either home, right, or login. Okay, and every time that you're gonna rebuild your app, you're gonna be back to this thing. And if you're building on create pizza, that might be a pain. So while you're developing, you can directly here change that. Okay, and so here we every time that we save, we are back onto our the screen that we were working on. So that's going to be more of a something easier for us to work with. So here it's simply going to be a form, right? So we're going to have a column that takes some children. The first is going to be a text, create a new pizza. All right. Gonna wrap my column with some padding. And I'm gonna do the same stuff that I had onto my home screen in terms of padding. That one, I'm gonna take that one up. So it's consistent, right? You wanna keep consistency. Create a new pizza, and that's gonna be our title. So we can have some styling to this. Text style, font weight dot bold, size, let's say like 22 or something like this. Create a new pizza. Okay, so we have that. um all right, and now we're gonna have a form, right? So under that, I'm gonna say form, and our form is gonna have The child of it is going to be column, right? That takes some children. And for that, I want to get the same fields that we had for our login. So I navigate to login screen, right? And I'm going to take the same sized box that we had, for example, for the email, right? I am going to take the size box at the bottom as well, and I'm going to paste that. So now here, the only thing that I really have to do is import my text field. Remember, it's the stuff that is within our components. It's our custom text field, right? It needs a controller, so we will do that as well. We just need to import icons and perhaps error message as well. So we will navigate to the login screen and see we have our email controller. We're going to take the form key as well, and we are as well going to take the string error message, if I manage to get all of those things. All right, I'm copying that to the very top of our create pizza screen that I am just converting now into a stateful widget. And I am going to now have, so let's pop this app again. So test at gmail.com, test 1, 2, 3, 4. I just want to see the fields that we have. Yeah, so perhaps we will start with the name. So the first controller is not going to be email controller, but name controller. All right. So now if we go back here on our form, we can add the key. So that's form key. And here the controller is not email, but name controller. And that would be name. And so we don't need the regex expression for that. We can just save that thing. Add some constant keyword as well. And we might want to say that this width is like 300, 400. All right. 400. Good. Let's add some sized box before our form of 20. Save that. Yeah. And let's say that here the cross-axis alignment is start. Perfect. So we have a name. We don't need the prefix icon, actually. No need for that thing here. Let's keep it simple and casual. So we have the name of the pizza that will be right here. Then we can take our sized box, paste another one under it. So if I take, instead of taking the app within packages, pizza repository, source models, pizza. Let's paste ourselves onto this. So that we will generate. So we need a picture. We need to say if the pizza is veggie or not. So we can use, for example, a toggle button for that. Spicy, it's going to be an indicator. So 1, 2, or 3. Okay. So in terms of string, we have name. So now we would have description, price. We can add a discount. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. In terms of text fields, right? So I would have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me save that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So name, we will have first name, which is here. Then we will have the description. Okay. Then we will have the price. Then we could have the discount. All right, something like this. And we could say for the price and the discount, we want to have, both of them on the same level. So instead of having that, we can create a row here with some children. And what I can do is take my two size box, okay, right there. Okay, tack. Paste them within my row, okay. And now what I can do is get rid of the wrap my row, sorry, with a sized box of width 400, okay? get rid of those size box, but replace them with expanded. Okay, so expanded, get rid of that as well. And here have a width of 10. So if I save that, we have price and discount right here. Okay. And we can have, for example, for the discount, suffix icon, which is icon Cupertino icons dot percentages dot I don't know, maybe icons dot percentage. I don't know how we did the uh, let me find the icon. It's my bad. It's me who doesn't know how to write. So we can add the percent icon right at the suffix this time for the discount. So the users know, what's going on there. And we can change the color of it, for example, to match what we have. Up colors dot gray. I don't remember what's the color. Secondary, no, gray 500. So I think it's just gray, right? Let's try that. Indeed. Yeah, okay, that works. Perfect. So we would have the name, the description, the name, the description, the price, and if this thing is a discount or not. Oh, what's going on? Something's not right with this computer. Okay. So if we take the, well, I think I need to close up some windows. Otherwise, this thing is just going to explode. Ah, snap. Something went wrong. Okay, good. um, so as I said, we have the price, discount, the description, the name. Perhaps we want the description to be multi-line. So here, name, it's not going to be text input of email, but of text. Same for the description. Perhaps we can say, did I? Mm, 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 mm. No, it doesn't support for now multiple line, but that's okay. The price, the discount, and so if we take the pizza class, so now we need to deal with this and this. And this, I had that as well. So picture, the picture will do last. Is veggie or not, and spicy. Okay, so is veggie or not, so that's gonna be under that row. So here, sorry, up under the sized box. Is veggie, so we can just have a toggle button. So that would be like we could do it like this with a row, children, text, is vegetarian, is veggie, and here we can just have a checked box of, let's say, false for now, and on change, oops, value for the checkbox. Okay, save that. Let's see. Yeah, is veggie perfect, that works good. Why on earth this thing is not to the left? I have no idea, because I've pinned that thing to the left, right? Oh no, I didn't. Cross-axis alignment dot start. Right, perfect. So is veggie, and we can toggle that thing. Yes, good. We have then the spiciness, right? So we can do the same thing, same kind of stuff, is spicy. But instead of having the toggle button here, we could have another row with some containers within it. I'm thinking, but some containers within it that would be width of 30, perhaps 40, of height 40 as well. And that would have some decoration to it, box decoration. And we could say that the shape is a circle and the color is colors.green for the first one. Something like this. Yeah, okay. We can have a size box of width like 10 something. We want to get this size box above as well, so it's consistent. And 30, 40 is too much. It's too much because we didn't add the size box as well between those two things. So yeah, but 40 is too much anyway, so 30, why not? So we could have that, but instead of having the color, we could have the decoration, the border, sorry, that says border.all, right? And I'm thinking about the UI here. The width of the border, perhaps we could say that it's equal to 2. Yeah, okay. And we can have, 3 of those things then, like orange and red. Yeah, that would work. And we would select the right one, width of 10 for each as a size box. That would work, I guess. Yeah, you see, and by default, there is nothing that is selected, so we don't have any border. But then once you select one, the border around it comes. I think that works. So we have that is spicy. That's dealt with. So that done. So we only have now the picture and the macros. And so the macros, let's pull out the class that we've had. So we have calories, protein, fats, and carbs. So perhaps what we want to do, I'm thinking right now, under is spicy, we'll have another thing, another SAS box. And here we can have a text widget that says macros, double dot, and it's some sort of integer, right, for each and one of them. Yeah, so we can have four cards. Yeah, so we can do that. We can have then under that thing, we could have a row of children, and for each it's going to be this row is going to be with so we wrap that thing with a size box and we add a width to it of 400, so it's consistent with everything else, right? And we want to have then expanded, and so here we will have a column for each that takes some children. The first item would be a text field, text field, yeah, or a text form field. And I don't want to use the same design as the one that we have, so that's why I'm not using it right there. And under it, we can have a text that says macros, but perhaps we can retake the same UI that we have within our app right there, right? So that's what I want to do. So we will go home, view, detail screen, macro widget. So let's take the macro widget and we are going to adapt that thing. So let's take the entire row from what we have already created. So that's basically what I'm doing here. So I can replace the row I've just created with this, my macro widget. And now let's get my macro widget where it is here inside components. So I'm going to copy that. So that's basically this. And what I want to do is then within components, paste my macro widget. And yes, we used font awesome Flutter. So I also need to add the package font on some Flutter. So I'm going to add that thing to the perspec.yaml file at the root of the application. So now normally pub-get, that should get the package, right? Good. And now here within create pizza, I can import that thing. I can import that thing. And for the calories, pizza macros at calories. So let me see how we did that thing. So that's for the values, right? Okay, so the values here are integers. So for now, let's say we're just gonna say some dumb things here because we're just gonna adapt it with the text form field for us because we are entering stuff. So let's save that and see how this thing looks like. Yeah, that's good, except that we don't have the icons, but that's very simple. It's only a rebuild normally. I will get back to you when that thing is built again. Okay, nice. So the app rebuilds, and so we have our icons. And so now here, instead of having this number inside my macro widget, we are gonna modify the widget that we've created in the previous episode by having a number, text field at the bottom. So we are actually gonna do something like this. Here, we're gonna copy the size box, paste it under it, and here add a text field and see how that looks like. Yeah, that's something like this that I want. So here, I want to remove, I just want title here. So I'm gonna remove that. Can save that. Okay, good, perfect. Here we can enter a number. Okay, so that's too big, obviously. So size, decoration, input decoration, the font. Let me check what's the right parameter to modify. All right, so that's how I want it to be. So it's not so much. So we have the text align that's for center, it's a text field, right? The style for the font is 12, and the decoration, I've just set it to dense, and as well add some content padding to it so it looks like this. Perhaps the last thing that we want to do is to add some sort of a suffix icon, right? So for the calories, you can just say 13 and that'd be fine. But here you might want to have a J, right? A G to say grams, right? So I think it's within decoration suffix icon here. And perhaps we can just say text and have grams like this. And yeah, we have a problem then of size. So let me see if that will do the trick. That absolutely does not do the trick. Is that thing the problem? I think it might. No, it's not that the problem. Let me check that out. All right, guys, so I've figured out the kind of layout I wanted to go. So you've seen what I've done. Text align center, the style is 12 in the text field. Then we have a decoration. I've set it to dense through, okay? The content padding, I only put the vertical padding to 12. I could put it to 8 actually. That'd be enough. Yeah, 12. That would be enough. Under that, I have a size. I have the suffix text, which is taking the same kind of field that we had previously, where here you have the grams that appears for a fat, for example, and the protein and the carbs, and the calories you don't have it. All right, so that would be something like this. And with that little stuff done, I think the last thing that we have is if we take our pizza, so we've dealt with is vegetarian, it's here. So we have to make that responsive, all right? But that's here. Spicy is here, name there, description under it, price and discount. And then the macros, sorry, they're here. So the last thing that we need is a picture, all right, in order to be able to create a new object of a pizza. And so for that, I'm gonna add a field up uh, above our form. I think, let me add some constant keyword everywhere. Save that thing again. And so I'm gonna navigate at the very top of our form here. And above it, I am going to add a container of width 400. It's a square that we have, right? So width 400 and height 400. Decoration, box decoration, border radius dot circular for now 20. And just for us to see, I'm gonna put that red. I'm gonna save that. I think it's gonna be too big, but you know what? It's all right. Yeah, okay, no, that's cool. The only thing is we can't scroll that thing, right? So perhaps Avron, I want to wrap my column with a single child scrolled view. Save that thing. And perhaps now, just to make sure, if we put that like 600, just to make sure it's scrollable, yes, we could scroll. All right, we could scroll. So now I'm gonna pop that back into 400, okay? And so we would put our picture right here, the name, the description, the price, the discount, check if it's veggie or not, put the right spiciness, if I must say so, and then the number of calorie, protein, and fat that is available within the pizza. Okay. So now the thing that we need to deal with is here. So we're going to wrap our container with an inkwell on tap. And so when we will tap on that thing, you can see we want to pop our finder and upload an image, right? So instead of having the color red to it, we are gonna say that the color is gonna be perhaps white. And we'll have a child parameter of this container, which is gonna be center child. And here we can have a column, column, children, icon, Cupertino icons dot picture, photo, yeah, okay. Photo tag. I can say that the color of that thing is gonna be colors.gray.shade like 200. And under that, I will have a sized box of height like 10 or yeah 10, and I'm gonna have a text widget under that that said add a picture here. Save that. Let's see how that what that looks like. Well, the size of that thing is better be like 100. Yep. And since that thing is within a column, main axis alignment dot center, you can get rid of the center widget above it because it really doesn't matter. Add a picture here, and perhaps here I want to say style, text style, font color, colors.gray. Add a picture here. Okay. Um, yeah, okay, right, cool. So as you can see, when we put our mouth over that thing, you have the color behind that. That's kind of, it's the inkwell, right? And the reason for it is because we have an inkwell and then we have a container, right? So the inkwell as well has some like border radius property that we can set to 20 as well, right? So we won't see anything. But here, if I remove the color and I click on it, you see, I see that the container is being clicked, right? And I want to keep that effect, all right? But I can't access the color parameter um, right here. Like if I say colors dot watch dot white, for example, here, that's not the right one. Yeah, it's not the right ones, but I can wrap my inkwell, right? I don't remember if it's the inkwell or if, because I know for a fact if I've wrapped my inkwell with a material, that will work. But if I've wrapped my container here, let's experiment something, huh? Because I think here I have access to colors. Yeah, that works as well. But that will as well take then, that ink doesn't take, uh, it takes a decoration, this ink decoration. It takes a box decoration? Oh, interesting. And then it's a border radius. And I need to put that inside. It works like a container, actually. Forgot that thing. But then I can remove my decoration within my container, right? And the ink doesn't take any, it takes a width and length. So I could almost get rid, I mean, I could get rid of the container right here and just use an ink. Yeah, I definitely could. And I definitely should. All right, so we have a cool effect when we click on that thing. Okay, nice. All right, so now we have pretty much every fields that's needed for us in order to create a new pizza within our Firestore, right? Every fields here is going to be instantiate right here. The most tricky part is going to be the image, because the image doesn't work the way that you have seen before on mobile apps, because once we're going to select an image, we're going to have to send that image directly to Firestore and get back the URL in order to display this URL right straight up here, right? Because we can't store that thing in a website like this. I mean, you could, but that's not the way that we are going to do things here. So let me think about how we're going to build that, and I will be just back. So before we deal with the image that we will deal with last, we need to create an object, a pizza object, right? So pizza at the very top of our create pizza screen, right? And we're going to say late because we're going to instantiate that thing within the init state methods. And so here we're going to say pizza is equal to pizza dot, we don't have an empty method for our pizza, do we? So we need to create an empty method for our pizza. So let's navigate to the pizza repository and to the pizza class. So here we are in need for an empty method, right? So it's the same kind of, it's the same architecture that we've used within our user repository source model user.dart, this thing. So we can copy that and paste that just under our constructor. And here, instead of returning a static final empty my user, we're going to return a pizza, okay? So let me copy all the fields of our pizza class up and paste them right here. So our most of those things up, let's do that. Not all of them are strings, but most of them are, so that's going to save us the trouble. So if is veggie, by default, we're going to say false. Spicy level is going to be 1. The price by default is 0. The discount by default is 0. And the macros by default is macros.empty. But again, we need to create that method so we can copy that thing. navigate to macros.dart, and under the constructor, paste that. Instead of a pizza here, we're returning an instance of macro. Copy the parameters of it and just paste those things right here. And up, and for since they're all integers, we're just going to say 0 everywhere. And here inside our pizza.dart, now we can say macros.empty. So I'm doing that because then our pizza is instantiate, like we can create an object without putting all of the fields straight up when we create the object. I mean, you have two options. You can either create the object at the end of the field, right? So we're gonna add the button create, and that's where we are creating our object, right? But since we're gonna deal with pictures and all this kind of stuff, I prefer to have it already done, right? So perhaps I can use the UUID package here to give it an ID already. We don't have it imported in our pizza repository, so perhaps it's here. No, we don't have it. We're not using it at all, are we? No, we're not using it at all. So we'll need to navigate to the pubdev and type UUID. It's simply a package for us to create IDs mathematically, and they're unique as well. So I'm just going to import that on the perspec.yaml file, which is under the pizza repository. Save that. And here I'm going to say uuid.v1, for example. See, it generates a time-based version 1 UID. All right. And since we can make that a constant, it can actually come here. So once we have done that, we can navigate back to our create pizza screen, and here instantiate our pizza object as an empty object. Okay. I don't know why I've closed this thing. Let me rebuild it. All right. Yeah, sorry, I just closed the window. People were making noise outside. So we have created, since that thing is rebuilding now, we have creating our object, right? Oh, why wouldn't you want to? Uh, couldn't find the constructor UID. Ah, so perhaps, sorry, perhaps you need a little a little help for that thing, Flutter clean, and perhaps a Flutter pubget. Let's see what you say now. Let's see if that thing can build. So we have our pizza object that's right here. We have instantiate our pizza object inside the init state. And so now we're simply going to create all of the different controllers for the fields that we have, right? And our app built. Oh, let me just put it right there, like so. Okay. So let me log myself back in, admin at gmail.com. I think that's what we've put. Go away. Nice. Perfect. So now we have the name controller, but now we want to have as well the description controller. Description controller. Okay. We have as well the price controller. We have as well the discount controller. And we have the Boolean, but that we don't need because we can access directly the one from the pizza object, because by default is false. Is spicy? Yeah, we can use directly the one that's there as well. And then we will have, but we will have four others. Oh, whoa. Which are gonna be calorie controller, protein controller, fat controller, and carbs controller. All right, so now let's modify all of those things in their respected fields. So we have, that's for the pizza. So the first text field here, name controller, that's fine. The second one is not name controller, it's description controller. But look, if you don't modify, you see, with the same controller, you're accessing the same controller, so you're modifying the same thing. So here it's description, well, description controller. All right, then here it's price controller. Then that one is discount controller. Okay, is veggie. So here the value we can say, instead of saying false, it's pizza dot is veggie. And we can say here on change, set state, pizza dot is veggie is equal to value. Save that thing. So normally now that thing is dynamic. Yeah, perfect. Let's continue. Spicy. So here is for our little red light stuff that we have for the spices. So by default, what we want to say here is the border here. We want to say if pizza dot spicy, so we are on the first one, is equal to 1, then I want to have borders everywhere. So that's the one that we have selected. Otherwise, I want it to be null. Okay. And I'm going to copy that thing over to the second one. And here, instead of spicy is equal to, I want to say spicy equal 1, sorry, I want to say spicy equal 2. And I'm going to do the same on the third one, but saying 3. Okay, so now we have here our spicy that is this one. But now I'm gonna wrap each container with an inkwell. Okay, and the ontap method, I'm gonna say set state pizza dot spicy is equal to 1. So that would be for the first one. But the second one, I'm gonna wrap again with an inkwell and say that the pizza.spicy is not equal to 1 this time, but to 2. Same thing for the third container, inkwell, but equals to 3. And so now, normally, if I do that, that changes. Perfect. And so we perhaps might want to do the exact same thing as we did here. So instead of having a container here, can we have an inc? And let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's perfect. That's better. But apparently the ink, do we have a border radius straight up? No, it's not there. So perhaps it's here, border radius dot circular, and like we put 100. Let's see how that works. I can't have both of them. All right. I know. That's not the problem right there. That's with our inkwell that has a border radius. Does it has a shape parameter? Has directly a radius, border radius. So we can say radius. Let's see. Yeah, that works. Okay. So let's add the border radius to our inkwells everywhere. And that's it. Okay. Amazing. You see the little effect? Well, you don't see it everywhere, but here you most certainly see it. All right, good. That's normal because we didn't change the containers by inks here and here. Okay. Yep. Yep. Perfect. Okay. The last thing that we need to do is for the macros. So that would be for the macro, my macro widget that we have here. So if we navigate to my macro widget here, I want to add a controller, okay? And that's going to be a controller that I'm going to give here. So it's going to be final text editing controller, and I'm going to require that thing within the constructor of the widget, and say that then in the text field, the controller is controller. But now in create pizzas, we have a problem because we need to fit those things. Well, that's no problem, because here, the first one is calorie controller. Okay, good. And I can copy that here, here, and here. But instead of having the calorie controller here, I will have the protein controller. That would be the fat controller, and the last one, the carbs controller. We can add the constant keyword everywhere, save that, and normally we are pretty much good to go. Yeah, that works good. Okay, this thing is veggie. The price could be 12, the discount 10%. This is the description. The beast. And just like that, we would have our entire fields ready to be assigned to our object. So now I want to have under here, I want to have a button that we can use to create this pizza, right? And so I'm gonna go to the login screen, okay? Navigate to the very bottom of it, and I'm gonna retake what we've already created, everything right there. Up. Except this time it's not gonna be sign in required, right? It's gonna be creation required. Creation required, okay? We can delete that thing. Create the pizza. Create pizza. And the width of that thing is going to be 400. And now the last thing I want to do is create this this creation required boolean at the very top here. So it's not sign in required, it's creation required. I'm going to save that thing. And yes, it's right there. The only thing I want to do is add some padding. So size box height here of 20, perhaps. Yeah. And here I want a height of 40. Create pizza. Right there. Yeah, it's going to tell us that the fields needs to be created, but otherwise that's pretty good. All right. Okay. So. All right. Now I just want to display before that print pizza. Okay. And before we do that, yeah, let's do that inside here. But before we do that, I want to say, so then I want to say pizza dot name. We're going to go by order, all right, is equal to name controller dot text. Pizza dot description is equal to description controller dot text. Pizza dot price is equal to, and here we're going to have a problem because price controller dot text, well, that's good and all, but that's an integer. That's a string, right? And we want an integer. So we can say it dot parse, and we are going to parse our string. Same thing for the discount. Discount controller, okay? Is veggie, that's already dealt with. Spice is already dealt with. Now pizza dot macros dot calories is equal to calories controller dot text, but same, we will need the int dot parse. I'm going to copy the same logic for the three others. So it's not calories, it's proteins. And here it's proteins controller. The other one is fat, and the controller is fat controller. And the last one is carbs, and this is carbs controller. And I can save that, and I can wrap all of this within the set state. Save that thing. And so now I will open the debug console, and we will try the beast. This is the description. The price is 15, the discount is 10. The pizza is not veggie, is too spicy. We have calories of 345, 34 grams of protein, 23 grams of fat, and 43 grams of carbs. And now if I click on create pizza, there are some exceptions. Why is that? Let me check that out. That's coming from this, perhaps. We have some problems right there. I don't know what's going on, but there is a state somewhere. Test format exception. Oh, let me see. It's coming, perhaps. Yeah, format exceptions. Perhaps it's because of those things. I don't believe though. Let's print. Let's log the pizza above that. Instance of pizza. Yes, right. So let's print it then. Okay, we definitely need a toString method. All right, so let's go into the pizza.dart and create a toString. Okay, so we're simply going to return all of the fields, simply like this. Up. All right. Just create a toString method that's very simple, right? Okay. Save that up. Now let's print. Okay. Perhaps it's the picture. What did we do? So name, description, price, discount, macros.empty, but that's from here, macros. It's only integers, so that's fine. So that's not the problem. Perhaps it's this, the problem. Could it be? I don't know. Let's try test. Name. Let me check that out, guys. I'll be back with you in just a second. All right, guys, everything was working. It's just obviously you cannot use in.parse if the fields are empty, right? So you gotta have the extra layer of protection to make sure that those fields are not empty. But apart from that, that's all there is to it. So we can see here if we call the pizza the beast, description test, price we put 15, discount 10%. We say that spicy is going to be 2. The calorie is going to be 455 with 36 gram of protein, 34 and 56, let's say. Let's pop the debug console. And you see, we have all the fields instantiated. So that's pretty nice. So the last thing that we need to deal with is the picture. And that's the thing that we will do right now. And then when we click on create pizza, we can simply send everything to the database. And that's what I told you earlier. That's a little bit different. Normally, what you would do is you would upload a picture, right? And upload the picture to the app. And then when you click on create pizza, you would send this picture to the backend to be saved and to get the right URL to display later. Here, once we create that, once we load that picture, we need to upload it to our servers and then being able to display it right here. And so we don't do it after, all right? Because we're on the web. On the web, that's a little bit different. We could cache the image, you're right. But let's keep it simple for now and just play it as is. So I'm just gonna look how I'm gonna do it and I will show you. All right, guys, so I've been trying a little bit to try to display the image right here without having to send it to the backend, but it's such a pain, so we're just gonna send it and just display it as a network image. So as you can see on the right, I've imported a few things. So I'm inside the inkwell of our container right here, I mean our ink, and I'm on the ontap parameter. So I've imported the image picker, right? So if I navigate to the baseline perspec.yaml file, I've imported image picker. So that's the one that we're using for that thing. And so I tried as well image cropper, but that just doesn't work. So I just we're just gonna leave it at that. And if we navigate to the ontap, then I'm using the image picker again. It closed. All right. Image picker. So we're just requesting an image and we're picking an image from the gallery. I would like to show you, but it closed. So I will show you just right now. We are setting the source that's from the gallery and you can set a whole bunch of different stuff from this package. It's pretty cool. And then we're just going to say that if the image is different than null, so the client didn't go back, we are able to set the image to what we want. So let me show you what I mean by that. So here admin.gmail.com test 1234. I sign myself in. And so here I'm going to click on that and you see it's going to show the file picker. So here I want to select this image, for example. And when I click on open this image, now we're going to do that together. Within this if method, we're going to send that to Cloudflare store. To Firebase storage first, to Firebase storage, and then we will get the URL and we will display the URL right here. So what we want to do is here inside our Firebase pizza repository. Yes, we can just add the overwrite is right. So here we can say future. We're gonna want to return a string, a send image, let's call that. It's gonna take an X file as a parameter file. That thing is gonna be asynchronous and we're gonna wrap that thing within a try catch. So let's retake the same logic as we had before. And so what we want to do here is send that to Firebase. All right. So let me get my code back. All right, I have my code back. So the first thing we want to add here is the import of a Dart HTML. All right, so that way here we can say that we will have an HTML file. Okay, so far so good. Do we need something else? For now, no, I don't think we do. So now what we're going to do is say a reference. We didn't import Firebase storage here, so we need Firebase storage. So I'm just going to get that. So reference, normally, yeah, Firebase storage. So we're going to call that Firebase storage ref is equal to Firebase storage dot instance dot ref dot child, and that would be the path of our image. And I think we can just put them right there. We don't need something fancy. Let's just try to put them right here, but you need a name. So the name would be here, file name. So here perhaps file.name. Okay. So that's good. So then you want to put that into Firebase storage. So you're going to say await Firebase storage reference dot put blob. Okay, that's for a web. And you're going to put the file. Okay, then we're going to get the new URL. String URL is equal to await Firebase storage reference dot get download URL. And that's it. That's the only thing that we need to do. And here we're actually going to return that thing. Okay. Every time I'm saving, every time that thing closes, it's trying to kill me, perhaps. So we have that done. So now I am just going to copy that method and paste it within our abstract class. Remember, it's pizza repo.dart and just going to import HTML as HTML. All right. Save that thing. And here it's going to need the override method, and I can just save that thing. So now within our tick, 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 so we're gonna collapse everything because it's starting to get messy. So we are under source, modules, create pizza, view, create pizza screen. So we're here. So here we're gonna need a block, right? We're gonna need a block, and this block we're going to create it now. So let's do that right now. So up. Why can't I create a block? I don't have the extensions. I do have the extensions. So please, 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 please. All right, it will not let me do that thing. Cool. Well, let's just create that thing by hand then. So I'm gonna need a new folder, upload picture block. Okay. And so under this folder, I'm gonna have upload picture events .dart. I'm gonna have upload picture state, and I am going to have upload picture block. Okay. So now let's create the event. So it's gonna be sealed class upload picture block event, sorry, that will extend equatable. I don't know why my extension doesn't work. That's weird. So it's the constructor right there, and then, and the props. That's just gonna be an empty list. If you have your extension working at home, please feel free to use it. So now that we are here, let's create the event itself. So upload picture, extend upload picture event, and that thing is gonna take a parameter that's gonna be a final HTML.file, and I need to import HTML then as HTML, and I need to create the constructor then and pass it the file parameter, and as well override the props with the file that we've just created and add some constant. So that's it for the event. Now let's create the state. So I forgot one thing, that it was at the very top, part of upload picture BLoC.dart, because those things then they are imported right there. Okay, let's do the state, same thing. Part of upload picture BLoC, all right, and that's going to be the same thing, so I can just copy that. Actually, upload picture state, change the constructor, and here we'll have a few class. Final class upload picture loading that will extend upload picture state. Okay, we have upload picture, then failure if something bad happens, and success. And the success is actually going to give us string URL. Remember, that's the new URL for the picture, so we can display it. Success, sorry, this.url, and we're just gonna implement that as well. And so now for the BLoC itself, so here we need to say part upload picture event, part upload picture state. Okay, can save that, perfect. And now the class itself, so it's going to be class upload picture BLoC. No, BLoC, like this. That's going to extend BLoC of type what? Of type upload picture event, upload picture state. I mean, if you never wrote BLoC on your own, that's a great reminder. So that's going to be a pizza repository, a pizza repo that we will need as a parameter of our class. Then let's create the constructor, okay, and pass it the pizza repo that we need, and say that super, all right, is upload picture initial. Oh, we can say loading straight up. Yeah. All right. Why? Upload picture initial. So now on upload picture, something is not right. He's not happy with what I said. Why is that? Let me get back to you in just a second. Okay, that was really because I forgot to import the BLoC package, so that's that. But now it's good. So on upload picture, so we'll have here event and the emit, right? We're gonna make that thing asynchronous and up. Okay, good. So now we can wrap everything with a try catch. Remember how we do that thing? If there is a problem, we emit upload picture failure. If everything goes right, we emit upload picture success. And we don't need to do anything because the loading is the first one. So here we're going to say await pizza repo dot send image, and that takes a file which is the one that we have within our event, and the string that's coming out, which is the new URL, we can just say that is the one that we give to the upload picture success. We can save that, and now we can use that thing here. So before we have the create pizza screen, okay? So we need to actually feed the create pizza screen with this block, the upload picture, okay? So for now, it's within the splash that we're calling that thing, okay? But anyway, it's in the root, all right? So if we scroll down here, create pizza screen, we're gonna wrap that with a BLoC provider, okay? And we're going to access the create method, and that's going to be upload picture block that takes a pizza repository, Firebase pizza repo. Okay, so we can just save that thing now and rebuild our app since it crashed. And now in our create pizza screen here, we can say context.read upload picture block, sorry, upload picture block dot add upload picture, sorry, upload picture, and the file is image. Okay, and here the problem that we have is the file is actually an X image, X file, right? We don't have a real file. So let me check how we can do that, and let me see how the app builds. All right, we need to modify something as I was a bit playing around. We'll need to modify one thing, and it's here. Upload picture. Once we upload the picture right here, we said that we need the file, but here we're just going to play with something else. We're going to play with this uint8 list. All right, so that's the thing that we want. So in upload picture here, instead of having a file, we want that thing. So we can import that. All right. Here we want to have that as well in send image in our Firebase pizza repository. All right. We want to have that and put that into our abstract class as well. Okay, save that thing up. We are gonna have to modify the name, but that's okay. We're gonna do that just in a second. For now, is the name the last thing that we need to do? Indeed, I think it is. So the name is going to be perhaps yeah, we can just do that, but that would be super long. So what we can actually do is get the name as well. Yeah, let's try just now to put like test.png, and we'll see later. So let me get our stuff right here. I had a problem with the blob. I was playing around and it did that, but that's because it's for uploading specific type of files and everything. So I want to make sure we got that right. So let's try again. All right, let's take that one, for example. Let's pop the debug console, upload picture. I don't know if it worked. It's not debugging or what? Let's reload. Okay. Let's take another image. Upload picture success. Let's see. Let's delete everything that we have because I think I already uploaded the image. So as I already uploaded the image, perhaps we have some problems. Let's upload that one this time. So upload picture. Still does that thing. I don't really understand why it does that thing. Let me try to rebuild the app and see if that makes that thing go away, because normally we're not dealing with those stuff anymore, so that should be away. Yeah, I will be back in just a second. All right, so that works amazing. I just tried it out, and we have here our test.png, which is the image that we want. So that's pretty cool. The last thing I want to kind of do is to change the name here. So I want to have here some sort of a string name, and I want to put that here. So we also need to add that to our pizza repo.dart as well. So I can just do that. Okay. And so now we got to figure out a way to give this image a sort of name. So that will be straight up here in our event final upload picture final name. Let's say string name. This dot name, and here name as well. I will add that to the block here, events.file, and as well events.name. Okay, save that. And now here in our create pizza, we got to figure out a way to get the name. So here, what we can actually say is we have a package that's called path in my memory, and I think with this package you can get the base name of the file. Let me check. Well, I was just thinking about it. I can actually check with you. So let's pub.dev. I think the package is called path. I think it's that one. And I think you have access to the base name. I think there is something like this. Let me just copy it. I'm going to import it in my perspect.yaml file, high level. Save that one. And now, because every version of Flutter test from SDK depend on path 1 8.3. All right. Let's fix that. Very easy. Okay. And I think here I can say base name of image dot path. And I think that will do. I think that will work nicely. So here, if I try to put this one, upload block, upload picture success, if we go see into our Firebase storage, we have the file that is right here. And so normally we got to download URL from that thing. And so now what I want to do is wrap everything with up is inside my create pizza screen, is wrap it all with wrap my scaffold with a block listener, upload picture block. Yep. What do you mean the expression doesn't have a value? Yeah, all right. And here, what happened? Block listener. So the listener is going to be, yeah, okay, right. If state is upload picture loading, we're going to do something else. If state is upload picture success, we're going to do something else. Else we're just gonna return nothing. Yeah, we don't care about anything really. you can display an error message or something. But here we're going to say what if upload picture success. Then what we want to do is set state. Oh, set state pizza dot picture is equal to state dot URL. All right. And so now, yeah, the block listener is of type upload picture block upload picture state. So like this, the website is happy. And now what I want to do is scroll down to our ink here and say that if then the pizza.picture dot is not empty, I want to display the picture. Otherwise, I want to display the ink that says exactly that. And what type of stuff I can do? Well, we can just take that again. Ink with the same way width and height, but instead of having a color here, we'd have image, a decoration image, and then we would have a network image, pizza.picture, something like this. Sounds quite good. So let's see how these things behaves. So now we don't have any image. I'm going to do that, upload that image, and now something happened, but we don't have the image. Is it because of the ink? I don't know if I replace that with a container, perhaps. Let's try again. Okay, let's show the debug console what's happening. Everything is success. Another exception was thrown, object progress event. So what's that? Let's print pizza.picture. Right, so that should normally, that downloads something. Perhaps we should say that we are sending an image, right, within our Firebase Pizza repository. Perhaps it needs that. Let me check that out. All right, guys, I was wondering why it was not working, and then I remembered the core CORS policy that you need to implement in order to use images like this. Or you can straight up use the HTML renderer as well, but I like to set up the core policy. So you need to go to the Google Cloud, and under your pizza delivery or whatever name you've called it, you have to activate the shell, right? And then open the editor, and you would be with something like this. All right, and the two files that you need to create is here core dash config dot json. Okay, and this within this file what you will do is copy that thing, and then you also need core configuration, but yeah, you need core configuration as well. So new file, no, the core configuration.json, that's this one. So the core.json now, and so it's within the core.json that you need to copy that. Okay, so save that, and the core configuration is that thing. So you'd have origin. Okay, and so here you would paste the URL of your project. So for us is it's we would say https slash pizza dash delivery dot firebase dot app. So it's pizza dash delivery dot firebase app.com. Okay. Response, sorry, up. Response header it's content dash type. Okay. Method get and head. All right. And the last thing, max age seconds, 3600. Save that. Okay. So you save that now, those two files. And now let's see how that goes, because I can get this thing right here. Okay. And so let's try again. Shall we? I've tried then changing some stuff, and then I remembered that it was the core that was a big pain. Well, the core is still a big pain. So let me make sure of the configuration. I think there is a command to do. If that is not amazing, all right, so the last thing that you need to do is open the terminal and paste this command right there. Gsutil core set core.json, and here the gs column / is exactly what you would find here in your Firebase storage is your bucket name. So you can just go here, copy that, and then copy the entire command right there and replace the last stuff, so this thing, by the one that is within your Firebase project, okay? And just like that, we can close that now, can leave that. We have our image displayed on the site. And so the last thing that we need to do, and it's already almost 3 hours of video, so that was a long one. The last thing that we need to do is to send our object to the database, right? So to Firebase storage this time, not to Firestore. Sorry, to Firestore, not to Firebase storage, right? So that's what we will do right now. So let me just make sure we have everything that works correctly. I'm going to delete that and we're going to try again. All right. So up debug console. Let's make sure at the end on the button we have a print statement. We do. Okay. So now let's see. We have our picture. So let's take the first one. So that's loading. Perfect. Basilic pizza. This is the best ever. Price 15, discount 10%. Let's say that this is veggie, not spicy. Calories 343, proteins 24, fat 32, carbs 56. And so now if we click on create pizza, normally at the end, yep, we have our pizza ID, we have our pizza picture URL, we have the fact that it's veggie, the fact that it's spicy on one level, the name, the description, the price, the discount, and all the macros. So that's pretty amazing. The last thing that we need to do is send that to Firebase. So to Firebase storage. So let's go to the Firebase pizza repo.dart, right? Oops, sorry. Okay. And now we're going to create a new function, all right? But this one is not going to be get pizza, but it's going to be create pizza, okay? And it's just going to return nothing, okay? Void. Void. And here, what we will do is get a pizza as a parameter, right? Yeah. And then we want to say return await pizza collection. that we don't care at all, but we want to say dot document because we have already the ID of our document. It's the pizza ID dot set pizza, no, pizza dot to entity dot to document. And we can copy the create pizza method and put that in our abstract class right there. Okay, perfect. All right, save that field as well. And now we should be set for creating the last block of this thing, where it's the creation of it. All right, so up, we can close that as well. And so now here we have our upload picture, right? But we want to create a new block. And I don't know why it will not let me create my own block. So I will relaunch my VS Code. I will be right back. I am back again. Now I can create the blocks. So sometimes just relaunch your editor, right? So under here, create pizza, create a new block. That's gonna be create underscore, oh, well, the thing built. The app just built, so I have to do that again. So create underscore pizza up. It indeed created this block here, create pizza block. So I'm just gonna rename that, create underscore pizza block. Oh my God. Okay, I'm tired now. It's been 3 hours of talking. So I hope you enjoyed that thing, guys. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing now. What the hell's happening? Okay. Create pizza block. Good thing we're almost at the end, huh? Everything is recording, it's fine. Okay, so event here, class, create pizza. That extends create pizza event. All right. Final pizza as a parameter, of course. So let's do the constructor now. Create pizza that takes the pizza that we've created in the parameters. Let's instantiate the props with override, sorry. Let's create the state now. So we have pizza initial, but we will have loading success failure as we have all the time. So first failure, then loading, then success, like you have in life. And since we don't return anything from our method in the backend, no need to have anything here, right? And so now let's create the block. So on create pizza, and we will need a pizza repo right there that I am going to feed to the constructor and make this one asynchronous. And so what we will do is do the same thing like we do all the time. Emit if something's happening, create pizza failure, right? At first, we're gonna emit create pizza loading. And if everything goes right, we emit create pizza success, as you guessed. And here we just want to await pizza repo dot create pizzas and give it the pizza that we want to create and save that. That's all there is to it for the block, really. So now I can close that, and that. I can navigate to the splash screen, no, to the root, sorry, and modify this block provider to a multi-block provider. Okay, so that's what I just did right now. I mean, that's what I thought I did. Well, that doesn't work, does it? Okay, no problem. So multi-block provider. Okay, we're gonna do it by hand then, huh? And so the first block provider that we will have is this one. All right. The child stayed that thing. No problem about that. We can delete that. But the second one is the one that is really interesting for now at the moment. So let's create another block provider of type create pizza. Create pizza block. Save that. And so now what we can say here after the print, if we want to say to keep it, context.read inside the create pizza screen, create pizza block dot add create pizza, and we give it the pizza that we have, the object that we've played with, okay? And how we know everything is working good? Well, we can here wrap our entire screen with another BLoC listener, right? Of type create pizza BLoC and pizza state. And we can say if state is create pizza success, then we want to say context.go, and we go to and we reload the page, right? I think that's good. And we can say then we have the creation required, right? So what we want to do perhaps is the thing that we did in the login is once we have here sign in success, yes, we can take that. Okay, so we can say here, so if it's well, if it's create pizza success, it's not sign in, but it's creation required, that is equal to false. Okay, and then we can go to the main screen, for example. If it's create pizza loading, right, we can say that creation required is equal to true. And if it's the other one, we can display some message for the error, but we don't care about that right now. Okay, save that thing, and we can try that out then. What I want to do then to make sure we have everything, so is deleting this pizza collection that we have. Okay, all right. I am going to delete the pictures that we have as well. Okay, and so now, where is my app? It's here. Okay, so let's see. Admin at gmail.com, test 1234, sign in. So we are here. All right, that's pretty good. Now let's get a picture. Let's take the first one. Okay. Basilic, 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 basilic sweet. This is the best basilic pizza ever. The price is 15 with a discount of 10%. It's veggie. It's not spicy. The calories is 453 with 34 grams of protein, 23 grams of fat, and 54 grams of carbs. And so now normally, let's see, we have the loading, and that's pretty good. We're back here because we didn't change the splash screen. But if we go to the storage, we have our picture that is right here. And here, if we update that, we have a new pizza collection with the pizza that we've just did. That's amazing. And everything works perfectly. And yeah, that's it. So now we can try again, but with the splash screen, perhaps here, instead of having create, we just go to home, right? So we go here. So we go to create pizza. Let's create another one. So let's create this one. Let's call it the big mix. You like it all. That's the one. The price is 17, the discount, let's say 10%. It's not veggie, but it's a little bit more spicy. The calories is 560, proteins 45, fat 34, and carbs 32. Okay, create the pizza. We are popped back to the home screen. Okay, and now we have another entry. That's you like it all. That's the one. Okay, cool, amazing. And now, if I launch back my app, my pizza app, Basilic Suite, and Big Mix. You see? And it's all working super good. And you have the description with everything that's working amazing. And so now you can add some KPIs and stuff right here. And you have the system for you to be able to create content within your mobile app directly on the web for you to do. And I think that's pretty much it for this video because we're already 3 hours long. So perhaps if you really want to finish that series, we can finish by doing the card and the KPI for the pizza admin. I think we'll do that actually. So I think I'm planning on a third video. But yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoyed what we've built today. I mean, it was a lot, you know. So yeah, please consider subscribing. That really helps me out a lot. I mean, recording for 3 hours straight is a big task. So I thank you in advance for doing that. I hope you like the course, and tell me in the comment section what you want to see next. If you want to see the third part, I'll be happy to do it as well. But also, if you have other ideas, please don't hesitate to tell me. And yeah, leave a like, join the school community. I will leave the link in the description as well. And with that said, I wish you all a very good day and see you soon. Bye bye.